We're still on the record with William Wallace, the first vice president of the Secondary Schools Football Association. And Mr. Wallace, earlier we were mentioning the point of the new teams coming in, all right? And you're also saying that you're going to restructure. First of all, what is the Schools Football Association doing about these new teams? How coaching experience, your mandatory coaching license, anything like that? What is this system?
Over the years the league has been really expending energy, time, money, plenty of resources into training personnel, training coaches, and so on. We have been doing that. And however, what happens at the school depends a lot on the structure within the school. It depends on the principal, his whole view vis-a-vis football in the school. So, for example, some schools, the principals would seek sponsorship because football is a very expensive business.
We'll talk about that sponsorship just now.
All right. They will put funding towards paying coaches. I'm talking about coaches who, of course, really, contribute to the development of young players. And then there are some schools who just may not be able to do that. And therefore, someone from the village, someone from the community who comes in to help. And therefore, you would find that those schools who would have the resources, financial and human resource, that those schools tend to do better.
Some of these schools, like Prayers and St. Mary's, are traditionally, I don't think St. Mary's would have ever missed a season of football. They went down the other day, but aside from that, they wouldn't have missed a season of football since they started playing football. But other schools, they're not big on sports.
Well, but in addition to that, I mean, you have to give the other schools who don't have that, as I said, the resources. And in addition to that, there are other factors. For example, those traditional schools that you are talking about, they have that support base through their alumni.
Yes.
Right? The old boys, they are there and they contribute in many ways, financial and otherwise. And the other government schools, for example, they are within the context of schools. They are about 25, 30 years old schools, and they don't have that alumni, that strong alumni who comes in and help and support and bring resources into the school and into the game.
One glaring example of the other thing, which is a brand new school coming in, and they're doing pretty well, is Shiva.
Yeah.
Shiva boys down there. But you hear questions. Now, I don't know for sure. I've never gone to Shiva. So I want everybody to understand that I have nothing bad to say about Shiva. But there are questions about some of the students not being really students. They're just students in name. Has any serious investigation gone into the status of some of these players that are down at Shiva boys?
Well, I mean, first time I'm hearing that.
Really?
I'm hearing it from you.
I'm hearing.
But in instances where we have those complaints come to us, of course, in writing, and it has to come through a school, the principal. Right. But this league is really a principal's league. Right. We are actually doing stuff on behalf of principals. And once it comes to us, we will investigate. As a matter of fact, there are currently there are a couple of things in terms of that same thing happening, and investigation has been done, and in some cases, ruling has taken place.
Trinity East. Because some of the boys were actually registered in Bishops.
Well, I'm not sure that we had a case this year in Trinity East.
That was last year. Last season.
There was an incident last year. But again, let me just say it publicly that Trinity East was exonerated, and they're not, So
everything is all clear with that?
It's all clear with that.
Like I said, Shiva, nobody don't come and, I was going to say nobody don't bust my head, but let's leave it at that. So you were talking about changes for next season.
Yeah.
What are some of the changes that we could look forward to?
Basically, at this point in time, we have what we call a championship league, and we have the senior division, championship division, I should say, and we have the senior division. The senior division is played within the zones. Right. Championship football also played within the zones, but limited to X amount of schools. Right. So the North Zone would have about 7 schools, South Zone, Central, and so on. And this is the present structure.
So your senior division will be like what you would call second 11
Yes, the second
football.
tier.
Right.
All right? And what has happened, we have, 32 schools in the championship division at this point in time across the zones. And as I said, we have seen the quality of the football decline. So what we have sat down, the executive sat down, and we looked at it, and schools were also concerned. And this actual proposal came out of Tigers,
Anthony?
St. Anthony's.
Right.
But it was something that was being discussed among the executive members even before that.
Right.
And it came out of St. Anthony's, where next year, what we are doing is that we are going to play football throughout Trinidad and Tobago. In other words, 14 teams are going to be selected based on this year's competition. And those 14 teams would make up what we call the Premier League.
So it's like a national league.
Yes, so instead of just playing within your zone, we are playing across zones. So we are saying the best teams are going to meet each other in competition.
Right.
All right, and we expect that to, we expect better preparation by teams because the Kaipa would come to play Fatima College or play St. Mary's and so on, beginning of the season,
Right.
and based on fixtures.
Right.
But we go after the presentation in South. And what is going to happen here is that we are hoping that schools who are in the Premier League, of course, will take a second look at their preparation because now you're on the big stage. And in addition to that, we are hoping that the quality of the football would
But of course, football, especially intercol football, which we know has a long history of very passionate support. Yeah, you're starting to see the crowds diminish now.
Yeah, we did.
What,
And of course, there are many reasons for that. One of the reasons, of course, is the quality of the football is one of them. But in addition to that, there are other factors. I mean, let's face it, what Trinidad and Tobago has become over the last couple of years, some people don't even want to leave their houses. Some parents want to send their children out to stay out to watch a game after 5 in the evening. I get home sometime after 7, 8 o'clock.
security concerns.
Yeah, so that is one of the factors. But we are still saying that in the area where we have control, which is the quality of the football, we are making an effort to try to make sure that that quality is a better quality, a better product. And if you have a better product, then we are hoping to bring back some of that crowd to the football.
We're talking schools football, intercol. Season is kicking off real hard right now. And 225-9476 is the number for you to call and jump right into this discussion. One last question before we take another break here, Mr. Wallace. We wanted to, the venues, when you look at a Saints grounds or a QRC grounds, or, you know, you see 5 deep around the pitch. That's the fans, if they have a more intimate following. But when you go down into the stadium, you're in a 26,000 and maybe you have 1,000 fans. They get lost. You don't hear the rise.
Yeah.
You don't hear the love. You don't feel it. It's too detached. There have been a lot of complaints. Do you see a movement back towards the community-based, the school-based pitches? Do you see something like that happening?
Well, you have to balance that against let's look at the incident, for example. Last year, where somebody left the stands in the stadium and went down. And as you said, hit a
Bust the man head.
Let's fast forward to this year, where we had an incident after the St. Mary's game. You know, you could imagine that we had the crowd just behind the referee, just behind the fourth man, for example. You could imagine what may have happened.
I try not to.
Try not to. So you notice that at the stadium we have that level of control. So
Right.
we had police and we had guards at all of the exit points to the pitch. So again, we have to balance that. I understand the point, the intimacy and so on, and I love it. But again, you have to balance that in terms of safety and the reality of Trinidad and Tobago today.
Present reality. We are still on the record with Mr. Wallace from the Schools Football League. Now, call us, 225-9476. Right about now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tonight.